this will be another way. Okay, again, welcome to the September 19, 2022 zoning board of appeals meeting. We have got 3 applicants on the agenda. I think we'll get them right in. Welcome to the right in the order that they're on the agenda, and we will start with Julia Miller. Come on up, sit down. And you have looking for a Class B area variance request, construct an addition in the detached garage. Into your side yard setback, and we also have found out that we have issues with coverage. You're over on coverage and open space.
Can you tell me what that means?
There's a minimum required for a maximum coverage that you're allowed on the lot. And 30%, 30%. Right now, you're at 33.6%, which you're over even without this. And with the addition that you put on, you're at 35.8%. Okay. The second is you're required to have open space, meaning open to the air. And understand this 58.5 versus 41.5.
She has 41.5 open space. 58.5 is against open space, so the open space is 41.5 instead of 50. Don't even look at the against.
Okay,
That was from
all right. So the minimum is 50, and you only have 41 now, 41.5%. And with the addition, you'd only have 36.1. So you're in both cases, you're exacerbating pre-existing conditions that are over the requirements or under the minimum. Or, yeah, under the minimum type of thing. Couple of things. First off, because it was not advertised as such, those 2 we cannot hear tonight. We can discuss them. We can't vote on them because we can't have a public hearing about it. We can hear the going into the side yard setback. Okay. We can play this out a couple of ways. One, we can postpone altogether. Let's say we'll postpone on the board's behalf or the city's behalf because the city should have told you up front that these had to be heard and put it in accordingly. Or the alternative is we could hear the side yard setback issue, and if that is approved, then you would have to come back with the other 2 issues. Or if it's rejected, then you have a whole different thing that you have to do. Decide what you want to do and what you can do and what you want to present to us that we may accept if we reject it.
So, I'm gonna just check for understanding, the part of my lot that my house and my garage cover is over what's allowed.
Yes,
How wasn't that addressed when I bought the house? Because I didn't build the garage.
it's pre-existing, so it's allowed.
Okay,
But everything that you do beyond that goes against the code as it's written, not as your lot sits with it covered. It's not like, okay, all of a sudden, Ms. Miller, your lot has 36% coverage and it only can have 30, but we're gonna move the bar to there, and anything you add will only be this much over. No, we look at it against what it is existing against the existing code, But what's there now, no matter when you buy it, is pre-existing.
So the addition of that. The covering, the permanent covering of the roof between the garage and the fence. Constitutes of. An addition to that already over
Yes,
percentage.
yes.
When I had it as a tent, it was allowed. I don't know if you saw in those pictures, where I covered it with tarp. That was allowed, but to construct something that looks way better than that tent is not allowed. Maybe because it's more permanent.
You're trying to reason with our code.
No, I'm just asking,
No,
because honestly, it's a very,
I-
forward facing part of the lot, faces the school and the parking lot, there's a lot of traffic there as far as people going to the park and the league and everything. I'm pretty conscious of how my property looks, so I needed that space, but that was just a temporary, to cover it with that tent. I thought, well, that looks awful, you know what I mean? That's why I originally started. I'm pretty proud of that too. I did a pretty good job. I have to say, I'm not usually a builder, like I just do refinishing furniture and stuff, but I tried to like do the math and everything to make sure it's gonna be the right angle for the snow but I understand what you're saying. If I'm already over, then I can't cover that spot with something permanent.
Well, I didn't say that. First off, let me address one aspect. Unfortunately, we don't regulate tents. Because they're considered temporary structures. Ugly as they may be. But, that's the way it is. And we can only deal with what our code says. Now, in answer to your question, having an overage and increasing it is not necessarily a hard no. Okay. It is something that we have granted to in some cases, if it warrants it. But the one thing that we do look at is granting the minimum variance to achieve the desired goal. And you may not get the total coverage that you want. We can say, okay, we'll grant you half of the area that you want. But I guess it can go a number of different ways. And I can't guarantee one way or the other. It's a 4-5, and it's a 5 after reviewing all of it against the requirements, against what we've done in the past with other places, that sort of thing. So I guess my question to you is, did you want us to review and vote on what we have in front of us? Or did you want us to postpone on our behalf and you reassess or take a look
No,
at
we
all of
can go ahead and review it.
Okay, all right. We will discuss the other two, but we will not vote on them. So even if we approve the side yard setback, you will still have to come back, and it's not guaranteed that we will get that to you. Okay. So.
Sorry, it's in the best interest to be heard. That way, if she's denied this, if she wants on the other side, she can come back. Because if she's denied, then she can't come back. So I think it's in her best interest to hear it as it is right now.
Okay, I agree with you. But I should advise her.
No, I'm just saying that, I'm not advising you to say.
I appreciate your help, because I'm just barely on here to understand you. So.
Well, basically what he's saying is, even if we reject this, it doesn't mean that you can't do something similar somewhere else around that building. Okay. And unfortunately, it's already built, which.
That's my own fault. I didn't realize I needed it permanent. Obviously, since I haven't been trying to hide it, it's right out there in the open. So, that honestly, the gentleman who came to the house was so nice. It's like, oh, you did such a good job. I'm like, I know. But I didn't, honestly, I didn't know. I figured since there was a parking lot on the other side, it wasn't. I was thinking fire. I think that's what that property line things about, you know, being too close to another house and one thing catches and the other thing catches, but there's nobody on the other side, so I didn't.
There's a number of things that go into it, one of which is right off the bat is water runoff. And it's gonna run on somebody else's property, granted. Like you say, it's got its own drainage, and if anyone's got drainage, the city of Plattsburgh School District has.
Well,
covered.
especially since they just redid both those parking lots all last summer.
So. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty of it. You built onto the side. All the way over to the fence.
Yes. I used the fence and the garage as the two walls, and I just constructed a roof up to connect them.
And the fence is on the property line, that's to your knowledge.
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, they removed the pole that used to mark the property line when they did the chain link fence with the city school district last summer. But from pictures that I took during that construction, I can see that it's even with the fence.
Okay. And you did the full depth of the garage,
No, I think it's 20 feet and the garage is like 26. I think it's 24 by 26. Those drawings there, somewhere, measurements.
how far is the garage from the back lot line?
From the back of the lot,
Yes,
I think it is. 3 fence sections, 22, 24 feet, something like that. Not, maybe not that much, maybe 20.
okay. So we don't have any problem with that.
Are those red lines on that picture, the property lines?
In theory, yes, but no, they aren't exact. Am I correct?
They're not,
Don't go by those as,
they're overlaid and they're not perfect.
Okay. Which one?
how large was the addition?
6 feet by 20.
Okay. And any idea how far the garage is from your north lot line, I'm sorry, west lot line?
8 feet.
8 feet. So you're 6 feet from one side and 8 feet from the other.
What's ironic is when I bought this house in 2000, that parking lot wasn't there. It was an empty lot with a couple of trees. And her house wasn't there on the left. It was where her driveway is to the left of this house, and that was a half a lot. So I thought I got lucky when I found this house. I was like, look at all this open space right in the city. But then they built the parking lot and then she moved a house in on a crane between her old house and my house. And I was like, really? But so it didn't feel as skinny as it is now, that's for sure.
What are you using the shed for?
Storage of like outdoor, furniture and lawn equipment, lawnmower, snowblower, things like that.
Any questions from the board? Initially,
In this picture, there's also like another temporary garage
On the left,
on the left.
yeah, that's just a little, temporary thing,
And that's their current.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to tell you what's in there. Cause I find groceries on the side of the road. I can't stop myself, so there's some dressers in there. I'm gonna retire from teaching this year and last year, so now we finished the dressers.
it's just one of those temporary pen, right there. Which unfortunately we don't regulate. Any other questions? Okay. Let me open up to the public. Is there anyone in the public that wants to comment? Mr. Ray? No. Okay. All right, and I will close the public comment period. Let's go after the seeker. Actually, let's address the seeker for all three. So that if we come back next month with the other two, we don't have to do a seeker again. So we'll consider it for all three of them. If that's okay with you, boss. Okay. Number two, ZBA building permit. Did you say we stuck it? Okay. And the one thing to note on our part is that in answer, but we need to keep in mind stormwater discharging off property. And I think it's a big issue, but I will entertain a motion in regards to the seeker.
I make a motion that the board chair reviews the seeker for appeal number 2331 and check items 1 through 11 and mark no or small impact to incur and sign.
Kevin, all in favor? Okay. Now. I will entertain a motion in regards to the addition.
I make a motion for appeal number 2331 to approve a class B area variance request to construct an addition to the detached garage into the side yard setback.
Had dimensions.
What's that?
We should probably have some dimensions of that.
Yeah.
It's 6'2",
6 by 20, right?
6'2" by 20.
Amendment to include those.
So the approval for a class B area variance request to construct a 6 foot 2 by 20 foot by 10 addition to the detached garage into the side yard setback.
Okay. The yes vote is to approve. Okay, we have 3 no votes and 2 yes votes. I'll poll the group, but I'll give my opinion first off. Considering, ignoring that it's built, I would never say, put it on the side that is closest to the lot line. If we allowed anything, we would say, minimize any encroachment on it. And either put it behind the garage or on the other side. Like I think, and definitely, in my opinion, not attach it to something right on the property line. That I don't think we ever approved an accessory structure right on the property line. Type of thing. But Kelly,
Before I say anything, I just want to say you did do an excellent job with it. And it's very cute. I'm sorry that the answer is no, because you did a great job.
Thank you.
I made a note on my vote that, to please come back and let us consider a similar structure if you're still needing to, in a different location possibly, like we discussed earlier, but I mirror what Keith said about not attaching it to the fence. I just, if we have to look at this as though it doesn't exist and we're approving something that you're about to do, I would say no to that. It's just too close. I'm sorry.
Christine.
I concur.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So you have options. If you do want to put it elsewhere, just be aware of coverage in open space is a concern, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Okay,
Okay.
and this, the overage part, you said I have to come back for it?
Yes, no, you don't have to come back at all if you're gonna tear it down and not do anything. But if you want to do anything, first off, basically, we've said we don't like where it is. Okay, if you want to do something elsewhere on the lot, anything you do, you will have to come back to us because of too little open space and too much coverage on the lot.
For example, so I'm gonna take the shed down, but in the future, if I decide I really need a full bathroom on the first floor instead of a half bath. Like to age in place and things, so I don't have to go up and downstairs, in order to add onto the house, I would also,
Yes,
I'm already over.
yes.
So that concerns me more than the shed.
Any-
The shed is, had to be
Any-
there, but
Anything that you do on that lot that increases your coverage of the lot will have to come before us. Yes.
okay,
If
that's
you do
good
it,
to know.
if you do it inside of your envelope, then it's just a building permit.
Nice. Okay, that's good to know, because I've been thinking about that, but, you know, I wish I had a shower downstairs or something, but. Good to know it's not.
Yes,
But just keep in mind that, yes, you do have some limitations with your property, and that's why we exist, because we do grant those variances when they're warranted, right?
And also, I just have to say, I might interrupt downstairs, but thank you for what you do. Keeping our city pretty and safe, it makes a difference, and I didn't realize all that was involved. So I got that giant application. I don't know, I'm an English teacher, I don't know all these words. So really, I really appreciate it, this has been like semi-fun. Thank you very much, though. So I'll just take the roof off that, which would just leave the way it was before. I have pallets on the ground. That's right, that's okay. I can just cover stuff with parts and then put it out during, you know, figure something else. I get rid of some.
All right,
Thank
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
If you do want to come in and talk to me about any possibilities, just call our office and we'll discuss it.
Great, thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too.
this. Secret, correct?
Yes.
Okay, next up is Weber International Packaging.
Your name?
Good evening.
Again, I'm going to you, but my name is Tom Renee, and I'm the attorney here in Plattsburgh. Seated to my left is Danny Joseph, who's the operations manager at Weber International Packaging. And to her left is Mike Hamlin, who is the plant manager here in Plattsburgh. I was present for a little bit of discussion downstairs. Weber International Packaging purchased, which was the Bailey Ford dealership property up on New Street. Previously, the Plattsburgh Ford, previously Cumberland Ford. There's been an automobile dealership in that building for as long as I can remember, and a long time. So Weber International Packaging, their main plant is located, if you look at the picture, it's right to the right, it's to the east of this property. They purchased this earlier this year, and essentially, in speaking to members of the city, indicated they need to come back in front of the zoning board and get a special or conditional use permit for light manufacturing in that building.
Sorry, that was me.
Um,
I drive by it every day.
I
said, "Oh,
So just by looking at the building in the picture, quite honestly, it looks really a little cleaner, I'm gonna say. In looking at the front, I know there's been some comments about sidewalks or things of that nature, and actually Mike took some pictures today. Just showing what like the sidewalk looks like out front. You guys can take a look at these, and like those around. They do not plan on doing anything out in front of this building, so they're gonna keep that open. Which I think is pretty consistent with the this whole complete street project that I think I've seen some reference to. I know the town has adopted it, I know the city's interested in looking into that. So that's gonna be kept open. So for people walking down the sidewalk, or whatever, it's gonna be wide open for that. Mike talked more about what they're gonna be doing inside the building, because they're not planning on doing anything outside. The building as it exists is what they are going to use. They're not putting an addition on the building, they're not expanding the building. In most cases, the inside of the building is gonna be used for storage. They're not storing anything outside. They're not gonna be creating any kind of fumes, any kind of dust, any kind of noise in that building. Certainly nothing aside from might be at the other building, which, as far as I know, I don't think there are any complaints about what's transpiring in their adjacent building. Essentially, nothing is going to be kept outside on this property. They're going to use it for storage. There's going to be some manufacturing, I think, towards the front of the building.
From the front, I'm gonna show like basically doing, we'll move back some light manufacturing with some caps and stuff like that.
But essentially, I think we attached a floor plan of the inside of the building, kind of shows you what's going to be in there. But the outside, they made, I'm going to say, substantial improvements to it. They paved the whole parking lot, so it's cleaner, it's neater. They're currently painting the building, so it's going to be very attractive. But nothing is going to be kept outside. And I reviewed the definition of light manufacturing that's in the ordinance, and I don't see anything that they're doing in this building that's going to create noise, fumes, odors, anything that would be a concern for the city. If you have other questions about what's happening there, Mike can certainly answer all your questions. The county planning board, we attended their meeting a week ago. think they came back with being a local issue. They actually commented on like sidewalks and open space in front, and we told them the same thing. We have no intention of doing anything out front, so it's gonna be kept open, accessible, for people to walk. It's gonna look just like it is right now.
The only exception you're gonna see on there is that hunk of concrete in the middle when they cut the sign down. I gotta get that removed. Yeah, because I'm afraid someone's gonna make a U-turn in there with a truck and tear the front of the truck out.
So yeah, that is gonna be taken out.
You took this picture today?
Okay.
Huh? Yeah, because I know I moved the blocks. The block is in your pictures.
Well, quite honestly, again, historically, and I think everybody here who's ever traveled on Community Street or Route 3 here, when it was automobile dealerships, they literally would empty, drop their car carriers in the middle of the road. It was a nightmare. I'm really quite surprised that there was never more accidents that occurred there. So in our opinion, this is really quite frankly the perfect use for this building. It's if you had retail there to some extent, you're talking about more parking issues, a lot more traffic issues, which they're not going to be. And as far as traffic, I talked to Pam about this tonight. There is not, with this ownership of this building and use of this building, there is not going to generate any more truck traffic than what they currently have for the adjoining building. There's not going to be more trucks coming in and out than what they currently have just with that building. So it's not going to increase any truck traffic whatsoever. So, but honestly, if you say there's a perfect use for this building, I think it's pretty close. Taking into account where it is. It's obviously perfect for them. It's right next door. They were looking to expand. It's a perfect situation for them as well.
I guess I gotta say, your main building, you have the nicest front yard on Cornelia Street, not Upper Cornelia Street. So if you do anything close to it, we're happy with that. Always well mowed, you keep your sidewalk clear. I'm always seeing somebody out there. Go by there 3 times a day. 3 or 4 times every day. This,
Also in front of this building.
yeah,
I'll have to make a
well,
note of it.
right next to it.
I'm always looking at the bumpers in front of me, making sure.
But quite frankly, the sidewalk on their other property, as Mike mentioned to me tonight, is actually right on the road. The sidewalk on this property is a bit further off the road.
Yeah.
But they intend to maintain it the same way as.
Yeah, it's gonna be-
It's gonna be kept the same, clean, kept up.
Actually, it'd be easy because the truck can plow that, where our sidewalk is really dangerous when we're out there snow blowing that. I had, actually, one of my guys got knocked down from the city plow, when he went by plowing. When he was coming through the wing and through the snow on the sidewalk, knocked him over.
Yeah, and you can see the picture where this, see the sidewalk is literally right on.
Yeah.
There's
So if you're, when you're out there blowing, you have to watch the cars coming at you because they don't care.
Now, as far as the machinery, what are you gonna be doing inside?
Basically, it's gonna be assembly pass. It's just a process where they take, there's inserts inside the hat and you got the top of the hat. So like, it's probably some like the 80 hats.
Yeah.
You have to turn, but there's a little disc inside, that you have to put in. And there's other ones where you have like on certain bottles, if you have to have a line ribbon to seal them, so it's like a safety seal.
Okay, so you're not doing actual molding.
No,
Okay,
we're just assembling.
all right. I'm not familiar. Do you do molding in your?
Yes, we do molding in the other buildings. We do
Okay.
things and blow molding. and we do blow molding.
Okay, all right. I have nightmares of that place. I worked there when I was in high school. Night shift, 8 to, or midnight, 8 a.m. It was,
But not fun.
Yeah, so this building's gonna be more assembly as compared to, manufacturing. I
Yeah.
suppose.
okay, that makes me feel better. Despite our listing of light manufacturing, I discussed with my wife last night what she thought it was, and I thought I actually looked up on Wikipedia and what they thought, and And what you're talking about seems more in line with light manufacturing.
And you can see by the floor plan, even, I'm gonna say, 3/4 of the building could be storage. Say, yeah, close to that, you know.
Oh, my point is that manufacturing engineers, so she
Oh,
has some
that
knowledge.
makes sense.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Lighting you.
I was quality, she was manufacturing, so I defer to her. So. Okay. Anybody have any questions for
No, I feel like the noise, just in terms of what, you know, the book, the parameters of the book tells us for light manufacturing, I think you're probably producing less than what most of the other places around you.
Yeah,
definitely less than
Oh, yeah.
our watch.
That's
So.
very loud.
I-
Stating on
Yeah,
the
let's say
street.
so. And there's, if you look on like any aerials or whatever, you can see that there's a pretty good buffer in the back of this building, between the back of the building and the tree line, whatever, so there's a lot of space.
Now, what are you doing for parking? Are you use it for parking where?
Well, yeah, it's large enough, it's 512 feet long.
Yeah.
So we can park either on one side or the other of the berm goes through the parking lot. There's plenty of parking.
And see those cars there, I think they're, it's a Bailey Ford, probably,
Yeah.
Well, the Fords there.
You can see where our cars are parked on that opposite red line where it says 3 feet. That's where we normally park.
Yeah, so there's a huge buffer like behind that building.
Not your intention to park in front of the building?
No,
No.
no, there's no reason to.
All right. All right. Any other questions? All right, I guess I should open up to the public. Close the public hearing. I'm sorry, unless you wanted to say something personally, Tom,
Yeah,
as a resident of the city.
you would request that you approve the project.
I will say also in full disclosure to the public and on record, you are a customer of mine, not that you would know it. But I am known, I own the Burnett War and we work on your doors, dock levelers, but I don't think that's going to affect my decision. And
No, so we know that.
okay. Actually, it'd be somebody else who would have an objection. So that was given preferential treatment. Should have still go against my customer wishes. There you go. All right, now let's get into the seeker. So long for a full environmental assessment form. Yeah, let's get done with two first. ZBA, yes. What is it, what else, no? This doesn't have to go before planning board.
No, I asked Joe about that. before we said it.
Okay. C3. We start out with A, decided proposed action located in this code with an adopted zoning law or ordinance, yes. This is classification B1, no, it's B2.
Yeah.
Permitted or allowed by special or conditional use permit, yes. Zoning change required or requested, I'm assuming no. Total acreage, what is the acreage of that lot? Is it less than one?
According to tax map, it is 2.2 acres.
2.2 and D would be a physically disturbed 0
Correct.
acreage owned or controlled by the owner. Total acreage, project site name, contiguous properties, owner controlled by the applicant and project sponsor.
The adjoining lots 2.5 acres.
Okay. So now you're leaving 4.7. Proposed action, expansion of the existing project or use. That's a question for you, Kyle. It's a proposed action of the expansion of an existing project or use. Do we consider it no because it's a separate parcel? Or yes, because they're contiguous?
That's a good question.
I think in their mind, they said yes, because obviously they're next door, but they're going to keep it on separate lots. I think we haven't really discussed with them, we discussed with me about merging the parcels. We won't think about that right now.
I'd probably, so,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'd probably say no.
Yeah, I would just.
Are you assembling any of those caps in your other building?
We were, yes.
Are you going to be?
In the other building, no, what we're planning on doing is we move the equipment from that building where we're assembling into this building, so we're all together.
Okay.
We're not split up on the production stuff.
Correct. That way we know the percentages. Page 8 and proposed action have outdoor lighting. Describe sources, location, height of fixtures, direction, aim, proximity to nearest occupied structures.
So exterior lighting, like lighting walls, outside lighting, like that, how you planning to do in mind?
We want to install some lighting on this, security lights, so it's better for the employees and stuff like that. But our plan next to this building has lights on that driveway, which kind of you shine over onto that property.
But any lighting, I'm sure, just speaking for the board, they would want like downward cast. So it's not.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And or so it doesn't like light, shed lighting.
They're streaking and stuff, yeah.
Black lighting traffic.
You're looking at doing something on the east side, and maybe the north side of the building.
Yes.
Okay.
The front's pretty well covered with the street lights, so we don't have to worry about it, just down the side of the building, is the problem, we want to cover it.
It's kind of big with a sign.
It's kind of lit on this side.
Yeah, and then you play public street.
How much of the street is on?
Well, it's not much like down there, but I'm seeing.
But it is a public street on the public side. So wall fixtures north and east side.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. 2 and 3 is lit up fairly well even at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Couple. Page 9. E1A. We should check industrial since right next door is adjoining.
Okay.
And last things on natural resources, average depth of bedrock. I'd like to put unknown. Since we really don't know.
Yeah, I think just, and we're not looking to destroy anything there, it's not.
And comments soil type pavement.
Yes.
Is the whole lot paved? Or is the back area dirt?
No, there's still a section of it in there.
Okay. All right. And drainage status of the project. Do you have any idea what happens in the back?
It's all, it has drainage all the way from the back corner, it ties into the big storm. So it's not Provost came through and, took care of that, without effects for collapsing back of the property was so spongy, it was unbelievable. Before he came, we had to have that taken care of.
Okay, so I get them to move the payment plan and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll say moderately well drained, 100%. And approximate proportion of proposed action site with slopes, 0.
Zero, yeah, that's it.
And the last is identify predominant wildlife species. None.
I'd say that's right.
Yeah, given.
Squirrels, maybe.
And the ladder, well, maybe it's not the last. Have a couple more. Q, the project site or adjoining areas currently used for hunting, trapping, fishing, or shell fishing. That'd be no, because,
That'd be.
yeah. But you do adjoin the forest in the back, correct, the buffer zone?
Yes, there's a forest between there.
Okay. And project site container is substantially contiguous to a building, archaeological site or district. No.
No.
And project site within 5 miles of any officially designated publicly or and publicly accessible federal, state, or local scenic or aesthetic resource. And you check no,
Yeah,
Lake Champlain.
pretty close to 5 miles, but. I mean, I think we should think that it goes 5 miles from there. Maybe a little bit less.
That's it, it's been 5 months.
It's
Within-
within 5 miles.
Yeah.
From my running route.
So your check is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they
can't.
And just call it scenic byway.
Yes.
Or is it Senate? That is the last page. Yes. So then we can motion.
I'll make a motion that for Q 2332, after review of the full environmental assessment form for this appeal, we've made the appropriate changes and find that there's little to no environmental impact of this project. But we're
You don't.
Okay.
Wonderful. Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay. The key stuff is done. Clarity in motion.
I will make a motion that for appeal 2332 for Weber International Packaging Corporation. That we approve the special use permit. Specifically. For the request to operate in a manufacturing and storage facility in B2 zone district.
Okay.
Okay, you've got 5 yes votes. You're good to go.
Perfect.
And we will hold you to the light industrial definition. Since I drive by there every day.
We understand. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate you. Staying in the process.
And everybody.
Good night.
Good night, John. Okay,
I guess it's in
there it is, yes. It'll be a rousing couple of, here.
Yeah, I know. See that.
Okay. We've all read it. Tell us what you're looking to do.
I'm looking to add on what I do right now, just adding some like hunting, fishing, a little bit of sporting good type thing to what I'm currently doing. Sometimes you have to expand what you do, to make yourself viable. If you focus on one item or two items, sometimes just not enough to do what has to be done. And the stereo business is not what it was 20, 30 years ago. And the car starter business isn't quite what it was because now a lot of cars come with car starters. So, I've expanded to do some rust protection. I've been doing that for a few years. That helps. I've been thinking about doing some type of sporting good type thing for a while. And I got a couple of guys working with me now and they're like, hey, that's what we like doing, that kind of stuff. So. And to do anything like that, you have to apply for an FFL, which is a federal firearms license. You have to have a letter from the zoning board or the city that says that it's approved to do in that location. Because they won't, it's not like a regular pistol permit where you can just get one. You have to, if you're going to do retail, you need to have a location that is approved by whatever the area is. If I was in the town, I'd have to have it approved by the town. If I'm in the city, I'd have it approved by the city. Whoever has jurisdiction over that area, they have to have an approval for that permit.
Okay. What are the requirements that the ATF has over locations other than
They don't.
approving?
You can do it right at your house. You can just do like a home-based business too, but that's not what I'm looking to do. I'm not looking at doing, even if I was gonna do it at my house, it's still have to be approved by the city. It says, okay, we know that there are, firearms being sold at this residence. But that, I'm not looking at, have a business in my basement or something type of deal, It's gonna be a regular public, business. Probably will not stay at this location, but I need a location to put on the application. And then if I move, then I would have to have a new.
Are firearms going to be the main portion? None of your expansion.
Well, that's the only thing I'm expanding, that and some other little things, some hunting and fishing specialty items. And then,
Like what? Can you be specific?
maybe specialty bait or specialty lures or specialty, archery or specialty fishing. Not stuff you go to Walmart and buy. It'd be something special that you can't get anywhere, like a specific. I don't know much about fishing and archery, but I got some guys that do know about it, and they're like, yeah, we know what you need to carry something like, whatever it is.
So what's in the building currently?
Well, the main entrance where the stairs are, that is showroom. From there to, well, where the first door is. The first blocked off door up there.
Yeah.
That's showroom and office space. Well, actually, the office is, the first door is all showroom. The second door blocked off is a waiting area and an office area. If you go to the back of the building, it's waiting in office. And the garage bays right now, they're all for installation. Now, whether something changes down the line and I'll block off another door or do something different, I don't have that plan yet. It may be a possibility, but I'm looking at some other locations. Once things get rolling, move to a different location, a little bit bigger. Because we have quite a bit of stuff in there right now, so we're gonna have to kind of make room. It'll start off something small and then go from there.
So there's no requirement on the ATF for distance from schools or
No,
anything?
no.
Okay, do you have a layout of what you're doing in there?
In the building,
Yes.
it's basically about 1,200 feet of showroom, and the rest is all office and installation days.
Are there windows on your south side?
Yeah, those are windows right by the door when we walk in, windows on either side.
Either side of the door, are there any windows on your south wall?
No, that's, you're talking like by BSS,
Yeah,
that's all right.
over.
That was the only
Literally,
building
that's the only window to that.
right there. Yeah. That's the only Montgomery Ward's building, basically, it's the same layout as when, I purchased it, except for I blocked off with 2 doors that you see blocked off because that was too much garage and not enough showroom. And they were all drive-through originally, so on the opposite side of the building where each one of those doors is, it's all blocked off because that was all drive in, drive out, drive in, drive out. These tires, oil changes and stuff like that there, so it's nothing. Nothing I needed. Doors in the back of the building, that's all like, workbench stuff. Storage.
Any other questions?
No.
You can make the same.
I'm very hesitant about this, because of where you are in proximity to a few different things. One being the school, being around the corner, the other being, that building right directly to your left at DSS is constantly filled with families. We have a brand new park that just went in a couple of doors down from here. It's hard to process where to go with this because you have no plans, you have no specifics about like where are the guns gonna be in the building? How visible will they be from the front windows? What are your cases gonna look like? What security do you have planned? There's very little information to go on. And based on just what we have here, I'm struggling with those environmental pieces. I guess I just want to put that out there. Do you have anything to share in terms of specifics? Or have you not gotten that far?
No, I haven't even filled out the application yet because you can't do it without an approval from the city. As far as, being next to social services, they have a full-time sheriff there all the time. And the city police station is literally within 2 blocks away. And I call them for different things when we see things acting up next door. And literally within seconds, they're swarming the place like a SWAT, like if something's going on. You have the building across the street, it's all federal agents over there. You got FBI, federal marshals, you got federal probation, you got the federal court system. They have an arsenal over there of all kinds of goodies. And being next to a park and next to social services. And some people may think it's scary, but all it is retail. We're not firing live rounds, we're not cowboys shooting the place up. There's people coming in, looking at different hunting items, saying, hey, I like this one, I like that one, and, these are all people that are, you have to be approved, you have to fill out a form, you have to send it into the government, they have to do a background check on you. It's not where somebody from DSS comes over and says, hey, let me see that gun there, let me see those bullets there, put in. It's nothing like that, and any firearm store is heavily secured, you can't leave things laying around. Everything has to be secured at night and during the day. There's usually one-on-one salesman. You want to see something, it's one salesman for one person. It's not, going in and touching and feeling everything and playing with things. You don't do that. Everything's behind the counter, everything is locked and secured. Just like if you're on a Gander Mountain or anything, you can't just go up and grab anything to look at it. The only thing you might be able to look at is shelves, like rounds on a shelf, selling 22s or shotgun shells or something, but everything is secured. There's nothing that is gonna be accessible by anybody. Not only would it not be safe, if things are just, you could just go in there and grab what you wanted, but that's inventory, and you don't need anything missing. And you have to account for every single, well, if it's a firearm, you have to account for every firearm all the time and make sure everything is listed. And, whether it's, somebody playing down in a little sprinkler pond down there, down around the corner or something. It's just a retail business. It's not anything more than that, really.
Well, it is a little more than that, isn't it?
Well,
Guys are a different
Well, it is.
ballgame altogether. Anyway,
Yeah,
whether you like it or not.
the statistically, more people are killed by alcohol and going in the hospital and getting the wrong medication that might be taken from guns, but that's beside the point. Guns are just more scary. But the last 3 incidences we've had in Plattsburgh were all knife killings. Not one was a gun, it was all knives, they were stabbed to death, so. You can't go to Bed Bath & Beyond, so you can't carry knives. It's the people that are buying any type of hunting weapon, those are legitimate law-abiding citizens that have the right to buy it what they want, as long as they're not felons, as long as they are not on the FBI most wanted list, because they have to go through a background check every time you buy something. So people that would buy any type of a weapon like that legally, you don't have to worry about those people. It's people that can't get a weapon have to resort to a knife, or they do get something and, they don't get it from a legitimate retail business that's regulated by the FFA. Or the ATF. ATF, not FFA.
I think the issue is less about gun control, gun laws, gun statistics. What we're here for is to determine if this type of business fits that environment. And if this is the kind of business that is kind of in line with what already exists in our downtown area. And that is, the business that you're describing is pretty drastically different than anything that's been down there before. What you describe as things that exist in that area, such as law enforcement and security, are not retail. It's not, you're comparing apples to oranges. So what we're here to do is to look and see if that's a good fit. And I'm struggling with that part. Your electric bike idea is on point. I love that, and even to some degree, the fishing, you've got the river right there. You got fishing spots down by the monument, like I like the fishing idea. I'm struggling with the gun idea.
Yeah, you see people walking down with fishing
Fishing
poles all the time.
poles, yeah. I think you would do a good business for people like in the moment. As a previous business owner, I do appreciate that sometimes you do need to expand too in order to keep your livelihood. I get that.
As far as something like that, what I'm talking about, there's nothing like that downtown Plattsburgh. There's actually nothing like that in the city of Plattsburgh. And I don't believe there's ever been any type of, well, except for like play against sports, but they're like baseball gloves and bats and soccer and hockey and stuff like that. They do, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, I realize there has not been any type of business downtown Plattsburgh that sells firearms. But, you know, being that it's kind of its own commercial, and it is, I mean, it's, you know, it's not a, I'm trying to think how I can relate it to. I mean, there's a lot of people in the city of Plattsburgh that own a firearm of some sort. A lot. If you want to buy them, you have to go out, you know, this way in the country, or this way in the country, or that way in the country. There's nothing in the city. I mean, the mall is close to the city, but not in the city. So I think it'd be a nice addition to the city. I know some people might get nervous if they're scared of stuff like that, but responsible gun owners, there's nothing to worry about. Those are the ones you don't worry about.
Any other questions, comments? All right, open up to the public. I'll take that as a little comment. Have to do it. Otherwise, lost here gets on my case. Go through the seeker. There are some things that need to be filled out. You check yes on city council, town or village zoning board, ZBA, that's us. County agencies, yes for approval. Does county have? to approve it?
I think because on postal social services, they had to make a comment on it, right?
Oh,
Is that what it
okay,
is?
yeah, all right, that's already,
So,
that's, county planning board.
right. Did the county respond to that comment, you know?
That's right.
No comment.
It's a local issue.
Okay, so the county wasn't concerned then.
And you check state agency, federal agencies, ATF. What is the approval? Is it a?
There's a long application you have to fill out, and it's about 3 to 6 months for approval.
Okay. And it's just approval to be retail.
Well, what they do is they have, it's basically a big background check. Because I would be the primary. Well, there's no secondary, I'd be the primary, so do back check on me, background check on me, make sure that.
So
Okay.
background checks.
I'm not like my home for anything.
All right, well, that coastal resource and project site within the coastal area or the waterfront area, but designated inland waterway. Is the Saranac River considered, it's not an inland waterway, is it?
It's not the only one, but it's addressed later in the secret, right? I think. I'd say it's not even anymore.
But it is in a community with an approved local waterfront revitalization plan program. So that was TS, the only other one. And within the coastal erosion hazard area, no. Next, will the administrator legislate adoption or amendment of the plan, local water ordinance, rule or regulation be the only approval? No. To it's Yes. Um, On page 11, age. How many wetlands or other water bodies that join the project site? You check the yes, but you're adjacent to any wetlands or water bodies directly.
Well, no, we got Saranac River across the parking lot, we got Lake Champlain, so. Not directly, but you know,
But they do have the joint.
Right.
Okay. So that should be done. And then that was all that I had, it was somebody else, I think mentioned Saranac River, Lake Champlain.
that was an automatic filling mechanism. That was an auto fill. That's what that
Oh,
was.
was it?
Can't see how nice those check marks are.
I actually did not. Okay, wow, it's really meticulous of
Yeah,
you.
those are auto fill.
Not.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah, those X's, those sloppy X's are mine probably.
all right, then I'll entertain a motion on the seeker.
I make a motion for appeal number 2333, that after review of the environmental form, for changes made that find little to no environmental impact.
Second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, let's do it, we'll do this package and if it doesn't apply, then we can modify it to see what we can.
Okay.
So then,
This- okay.
so I'll entertain a motion in regards to the appeal.
I'll make a motion to approve appeal number 2333, special use permit request to operate a sporting, hunting, and electronic bicycle shop in addition to an existing car detailing shop located in the commercial zone district. 17 Third Street.
Second.
Second.
Okay. The yes vote is to approve it. So changes. They didn't fill out there.
Sorry.
May not have spelled their name right, but
Come on.
okay. We've got 3 yes votes and 2 no votes. So you are good. I'll start out since I voted no, just I have a concern about the firearms right in that area and just coming out of the store. I just don't think it fits in with the neighborhood. Everything else I had no problem with whatsoever. But I guess it is my hope that you move it elsewhere over time.
Mine too.
So that's why I voted no. Kelly was the other no vote, as you probably expected.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love your idea of expansion, I really do, and I love the idea of the bikes for sure, I mean, they're just everywhere these days, and people want them. And they want specialty bikes, like you can't find them anywhere around here. That's a really great idea, I like the idea of the fishing piece, like I said, there are families coming out of there and. The school nearby, people leaving with those firearms, I don't feel that it was a good fit for the neighborhood in that area, I don't feel, there's a reason why gun stores aren't in the city. Because everything is in close proximity, and I feel that it's more appropriate in a different kind of space. That was my feeling.
I totally understand exactly the way you feel. I really do. But, you know, be rest assured that the people that come in, if they do buy some type of a firearm, those are the safest people that you could come by, because they're all, you know, so I understand the way you feel. 100%.
Yeah, and I've never owned a gun, never even shot one, like, but
Yeah.
definitely respect hunters and people who are responsible.
Sure.
And I know a lot of people that do, so they have that.
Yeah.
But
My
you're good to go.
guns.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not anti-gun. I'm,
Yeah, I will say that I think the concern is less about those purchasing it and more about maybe someone. How after the stores hours of close breaking in and seeing that there are weapons there and finding a way to break in, so just be sure that
They'll be having a
things are
bad
very
day.
secure.
City police are right around the corner. You can take one and get there.
Doesn't take long to get some money there.
But yeah, no, everything will be secure. I mean, there'd be really no concern. I mean, there's always a concern, but.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
thank you.
you're good, thank you for
Have a good
participating in
day.
the process. All right. We have minutes. We, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that were there.
I mean, yes, I did, and I didn't see anything. I read them very specifically, quite, actually.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the August 15, 2022 minutes for the meeting of the zoning board of appeals as written.
Second,
Uh,
all in favor? Aye. Okay. Only one motion left.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.